Long ago in the land of Israel, there was a time of fear and uncertainty. The Israelites were at war with a powerful enemy known as the Philistines. The two armies stood on opposite hills, facing each other, ready for battle. But something unusual was happening. Every day, a giant of a man stepped forward from the Philistine army. His name was Goliath. He was enormous, far taller and stronger than any man anyone had ever seen. He wore heavy armor made of bronze, carried a massive spear, and his voice thundered across the valley like a storm. Goliath shouted to the Israelites, challenging them. He said, "Choose one man to fight me. If he defeats me, we will serve you. But if I defeat him, you will serve us." But no one stepped forward. The soldiers of Israel were afraid. Even King Saul, their leader, felt fear. Day after day, Goliath came out, shouting and mocking them, and day after day, no one answered his challenge. Not far from the battlefield lived a young boy named David. He was the youngest son in his family, and while his older brothers were soldiers in King Saul's army, David stayed behind to take care of his father's sheep. He was just a shepherd, small, unknown, and seemingly unimportant. One day, David's father asked him to take food to his brothers at the battlefield. So David obeyed and went on his way. When he arrived, he saw the two armies facing each other and heard the giant Goliath shouting his challenge once again. David couldn't believe what he was hearing. He looked around at the soldiers of Israel and saw their fear. "Why is no one standing up to this man?" David asked. "How can he speak against our people like this?" The soldiers told David about the giant and how everyone was too afraid to fight him. But David was not afraid. He believed that God would protect him, just as he had protected him before while he was watching over his sheep. David said, "I will go and fight this giant." When King Saul heard this, he was surprised. He looked at David and said, "You are just a boy. That man has been a warrior since he was young." But David replied, "I may be young, but I have faced danger before. When a lion or a bear came to attack my sheep, I fought them and rescued the sheep. God protected me then, and he will protect me now." Saul saw David's confidence and agreed to let him go. He gave David his own armor to wear, but it was too heavy and didn't fit him. David took it off. Instead, he chose something simple: his staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. With quiet courage, David walked toward the giant. When Goliath saw him coming, he laughed. "Am I a dog," he said, "that you come at me with sticks?" He looked at David and saw only a small boy, not a warrior. But David stood firm. He said, "You come against me with a sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord. Today everyone will know that there is a God who saves." Then Goliath moved closer, ready to strike. David reached into his bag, took out a stone, placed it in his sling, and swung it around with all his strength. Then he let it go. The stone flew through the air and struck Goliath on the forehead. The giant staggered, and then fell to the ground with a mighty crash. The entire battlefield went silent. The giant who had terrified an entire army was defeated, not by strength, not by armor, but by faith and courage. When the Philistines saw that their champion had fallen, they fled in fear. The Israelites rushed forward with renewed courage and won the battle that day. David's victory became a story that would be told for generations. A reminder that no matter how big the challenge may seem, it is not size or strength that matters most, but faith, courage, and trust in God. And so, a young shepherd boy showed the world that even the smallest person can do something great when they believe.